Right now at 5, the search for a missing 87-year-old man near Carthage comes to an end.
It's going to be a beautiful day out there today, nice and sunny, but a cool down is coming. I'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, some Southeast Kansas students step back in time to the 1850s.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Donald O'Keefe. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday. We have made it through the work week almost.
Yes, almost there. Almost to the weekend.
But you know, it's been a great work week because one, we're getting to spend a great morning show with everybody. But also we've had some great weather. I can't ask for a nicer November fall.
I mean, honestly, this whole week has been really nice. We're going to end the work week off on a really nice day. Let's actually take a look at downtown Pittsburgh right now. So it is a little bit on the cooler side, but not too bad. Things are going to warm up. Pretty clear-ish skies. There is some lingering clouds, but those clouds are going to start dissipating as the morning progresses. Taking a look at 7th Range, like I was saying, just a little bit of clouds out there. Not too bad. Those, like I said, they're going to dissipate as we progress through the morning. I think you can actually see the moon right there. I think it's starting to set. So pretty nice start to your day. Rangeline I-44, not too bad. Not too busy at this moment. Conditions are looking pretty good for right there. However, there is a bit of fog out there at this moment. In Chanute, you only have about 5/10 of a mile of visibility. Fredonia, just a little over 3.5. Parsons, just under 2 miles of visibility. Yates Center, just under 4. And Iola, just under 5 miles of visibility. So there is a pretty good pocket of fog in this particular area. And even down in the water, about just a little over 6 miles of visibility. So if you are in any of those parts of our area here, make sure you're driving very safe because it is very heavy, dense fog. But out to the east, it looks pretty good. Along I-44 looks really well for driving as well. So it is definitely pretty foggy out there in our northeastern part or northwestern part of our area. Temperatures look pretty good too. 59 in Joplin, 60 in Miami. Yates Center, you guys are on the colder side, about 43 degrees, but not too bad. Things are going to start warming up. Our future track for today, noon, we're going to have pretty clear skies through the rest of the day, but there is going to be some increase in clouds by the afternoon, but I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Donald, thanks. Authorities in Jasper County, Missouri believe they found the body of a man who had been missing for more than 2 weeks. Missing person notices had been posted saying 87-year-old Hugh Berry was last seen leaving his home west of Carthage on October 20th. Now the Jasper County Sheriff's Department reports the discovery Thursday of a body believed to be Berry's remains. Their search was aided by the 3RK9 Search Foundation and Christian Aid Ministries Search and Rescue. Investigators say they do not suspect foul play. While positive ID is still pending, authorities say they are confident it's the body of Hugh Berry. A change in tax policy means some Jasper County entities will have to rethink their budgets. Some political subdivisions across Jasper County could see less than anticipated in revenues from property taxes. With over 6,300 Jasper County residents receiving senior tax credits this year, school districts, fire departments, and city governments will now get less money than they thought. School districts are seeing the largest financial impact, with some districts receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars less than anticipated.
Property values are up, and the Carthage schools passed an operating levy increases last spring, but the seniors that got the credit are tied back to 24, not this year. So that operating increase times the new assessed value makes that difference much larger.
Jasper County Collector Steve McIntosh says despite credits being applied, residents overall are paying more in taxes this year due to it being a reassessment year and property values rising. High schoolers from throughout the 4 states got to put their knowledge of business to the test at MSSU's 4th annual Business Gateway competition. KOAM's Kenny Foreman tells us more about what the experience was like.
For high schoolers with a passion for business, the day was a culmination of hard work and preparation.
They've had about 3 weeks is when we gave them the presentation prompts, and so they've had 3 weeks to kind of work through the material, go through case studies. A lot of the case studies we use are similar to what we use here at Southern, and so they are really immersed in kind of what a business education looks like as well.
A record 685 students across 27 schools were in attendance, showcasing their knowledge in a variety of different categories in hopes of walking away with awards.
So we have in the morning multiple choice test that they take over various subjects such as international business, communication, accounting, marketing, management, and then they also have the opportunity to give presentations over similar subjects like financial plan, the business plan pitch competition, travel, tourism.
The students and staff also used the event as an opportunity to introduce the high schoolers to MSSU and showcase why it might be a good fit for them as they start to think about college.
We're trying to get kids interested in Southern, and we're trying to get their teachers where they want to send kids to Southern, so it's just making sure those kind of stakeholders in that situation are taken care of, and they feel welcome here and they feel support, and they end up loving it and wanting to come back for more.
Having been in their shoes at one point, it means a lot to the college students to get the younger generation excited for their future.
This is just a small competition that they think is very big right now. As high schoolers, you just want to be getting out of school, but this is something that can help them long term.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The faculty plans to send the grading rubrics back to the high school teachers, who will then share them with the students. This is done in an effort to help the students grow beyond the competition. Well, hammering hot metal, riding in covered wagons, and learning about Native American culture. Area students experience pioneer life firsthand at Cato Days, the small historic Crawford County town founded in 1854, transformed into a living classroom where students explored Southeast Kansas pioneer heritage and discovered what life was like more than 150 years ago. Cato Days featured 7 interactive stations, from blacksmith demonstrations to cowboy culture. Students also visited the site of Crawford County's first school.
One of the main goals is that Cato was a very important part in the settlement of Southeast Kansas. It was a hub. People came here and had their grain ground, and actually it was a stopover for the stagecoach between Fort Scott and Baxter Springs.
The educational adventure continues Saturday. Well, protesters outside the Payne County Courthouse in Oklahoma with signs in hand. They're upset a teenager convicted on several rape-related charges now will not face jail time. Paige Taylor reports on the charges against the teen and the now lighter punishment.
This body cam footage shows then 17-year-old Jesse Butler being arrested at his home in Stillwater earlier this year. He was convicted of 11 charges in total, 10 charges related to rape, including domestic assault and battery by strangulation and rape by instrumentation, and 1 charge for violating a protection order. Records show the charges stem from incidents with 2 different victims. He pleaded no contest, and what was originally a 78-year sentence was changed after he was given youthful offender status. Now we're learning he will have to do community service and attend counseling and faces no jail time.
The justice system here in Stillwater has allowed a violent sex offender to walk free. Not only is he currently free and loose on the streets, he's a virtual student at Stillwater Public Schools as a senior, and after he finishes having this slap on the wrist, he doesn't even have to register as a sex offender.
During a protest on Wednesday, people lined the streets, including students.
It really means a lot to show that there's a lot of people out here that really care and truly want to make this world better and get people like him off the streets. Justice top of mind for students in attendance.
I want him to get what he deserves. He needs to be prosecuted. Worthington needs out of office.
It makes me hopeful that in those situations we might get more justice for people.
Butler is scheduled to be back in court on December 8th. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, the government shutdown hits air travel as security lines stretch for hours and flight cuts begin. Plus, the King of Pop gets the biopic treatment, with his nephew playing the lead role. Jafar Jackson portrays Michael Jackson in a new film heading to IMAX. And warm and sunny skies in the 4 states. Donald has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Her musical hiatus is so yesterday. Hilary Duff returns to the recording studio as Robert De Niro picks up an international accolade. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
From the moonwalk to the movie theater, a Michael Jackson biopic titled Michael was just announced.
Can you lower the lights for me, please?
The cast is led by actor Jafar Jackson, making his film debut portraying his late uncle, the King of Pop. The film follows his journey from Jackson 5 to headlining solo stadium tours. Michael heads to IMAX in April.
I feel like it's the right first move.
I think so.
You do?
She's back. Hilary Duff announcing an end to her decade-long hiatus from music. Her new single, titled Mature, is out now. It was a round of applause for Robert De Niro as the actor accepted one of Rome's top honors. The actor was given what's called the She-Wolf Award. It's an accolade presented by Rome's mayor to people who have brought prestige to the city. The Rockettes are kicking off their annual Christmas spectacular shows. This season promises faster kicks and heightened choreography.
We keep pushing the bar and keep making them work harder and try new things.
This year marks 100 years of the iconic New York City dance troupe. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I think the Rockettes are like one of the first signs that Christmas is really coming. Well, now here's Donald with a quick look at your forecast.
It's going to be nice and warm and sunny today before a cold front brings in some Arctic air this weekend. So let's enjoy this nice, beautiful Friday, and I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up after the break. It's going to be a beautiful day out there today. You're waking up and temperatures feel really good at this moment. Downtown Pittsburgh, you can see pretty nice morning. There is some lingering clouds, but those will start to dissipate through this morning. 7th and Range Line not looking too bad either. People are starting to wake up, get up and do their morning routine, go get their coffee, get those kids ready to get on the school bus. Range Line I-44, not too bad as well. There's really not any fog happening in this region, but our fog tracker does have a patch of fog out to our northwest. In Chanute, you just got a little over 3.5 miles of visibility. Fredonia, a little over 5. Parsons, just under 3. And Iola, just a little over 4. Yates Center, a little over 5. So that is pretty much our area in this, for our viewing area, that has the most fog at this moment. But the rest of the area looks pretty good at this moment. A little bit down there by Bonita, 7.5 miles of visibility. So pretty much north of I-44 is where the fog is, but everything to the east and south looks pretty good as you're getting out the door to drive to work. All right, let's take a look at our regional temperatures right now. We're seeing a little bit of a warmer trend right at this moment. So we're seeing those south winds coming in, bringing in some nice warm weather for today. But you can see that there is those northwesterly winds that are going to be bringing in some Arctic air this weekend, but it's holding off for now. Right now, we're just seeing some nicer, warmer weather. All right, taking a look at our future track. Today at noon, we do have some northwesterly winds, but it's still going to be pretty nice for today. Those winds are still going to be kind of blending it a little bit with the south, but still a pretty clear, nice day for today. But then by the time we get to the evening, there is going to be some increasing clouds, as you can see. As we progress into Saturday morning, those winds start to shift again a little bit to the southeast. Still going to be pretty nice, but it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround with those winds. Once we get to about Saturday afternoon, about noon, those winds shift from the southeast back to the northwest. You can see they're going pretty quick. It's actually going to be a pretty windy day tomorrow as that colder air starts to actually push in. By Saturday night, there's those north winds. It's going to be a chilly Saturday night into Sunday. But for our day today, 56 degrees at 8 a.m., pretty much mostly sunny skies through the morning, getting up to 68 degrees at 11 a.m., so not a bad start to your day. And then we're going to reach about 70 degrees today for our high, and that's going to be between the hours of 2 to 4. Winds are going to be very nice out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour, so not too bad. And our evening doesn't look too bad either. We are a little bit on the cooler side for overnight low at 46 with winds light and variable, but a gradual cool down, 62 at 6 p.m. and 52 at 10 p.m. with increasing clouds through the evening. But this is what I wanted to talk about. We have a frost and a freeze that is coming up pretty soon this weekend. You can see Friday night or overnight low is about 43. Frost unlikely, but then we can drop down to 35 on Saturday and 21 on Sunday. There is definitely going to be a hard freeze associated with that, and the same thing for Monday as well. So this is when you want to make sure you're bundled up and just prepared for that cold, brisk air as you're waking up and getting out the door for this weekend and early parts of next week. And then we do warm up a little bit. So let's take a look at our 10-day right now. 70 for today. We start to really cool down by Sunday, getting only up to 41, 45 on Sunday. And then we start warming up slowly by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, possibly seeing 70s again by later next week. But that's a look at your full forecast. Here is Sam with Health Watch.
Thanks, Donald. A warning for people with asthma. A thunderstorm can trigger severe symptoms and in some cases even necessitate a trip to the emergency room. A study presented at a meeting of the American College of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology found 14% of all asthma-related ER visits happen during thunderstorms. Allergists say asthma patients should prepare for thunderstorms the same way you prepare for high pollen days or cold weather. Children with eczema may get an added benefit from the COVID vaccine. Texas researchers found that COVID-vaccinated kids experience significantly fewer eczema infections and allergic complications than kids who aren't vaccinated. Risks of other allergy-related conditions were also lower in vaccinated children, including asthma and hay fever. People who have had concussions are at a 50% higher risk of having a traffic crash even weeks later. Researchers from the Institute for Clinical Evaluative Sciences say the risk is especially high during the first month after a concussion. Concussions can affect brain function in many ways, including dizziness, brain fog, and slower reaction times. A new surgical intervention has allowed a toddler to temporarily survive without a heart. The child's heart was failing fast and traditional treatments weren't working. That's when the desperate family turned to CHOP, where the team created a first-of-its-kind intervention. Stephanie Stahl has his remarkable story.
Hi, how are you? He's the baby who lived 9 months without a heart.
Can you believe it?
Dr. Katsuhiro Maeda says the dramatic intervention was the only way to save Michael Webb's life.
We take out his entire heart.
The baby was born in Virginia with very complex heart disease.
Very scary, because I didn't know what to expect.
Everything had failed when the Webb family ended up at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
CHOP's willing to do what they have to do to save lives, and that's why we're here.
Michael needed a heart transplant to survive, but he couldn't be stabilized with traditional surgical options, so the team devised an innovative way to replace his failing heart with a combination of mechanical devices.
I knew that this was really high risk, and also, be honest, I was not sure this really works, but I believe that this works, so that is why we tried.
Something you've never done before.
That is correct, yes.
And they explained the odds, and it was 50-50. We jumped on it because 50% chance was better than the zero we had.
We were terrified, but also hopeful that it would work and he would get to transplant.
In December, a donor heart was found.
It was a Christmas miracle.
The heart transplant surgery was a success, worthy of a send-off party as the family left the hospital.
Tell him I appreciate you saving my son's life. This is amazing.
Now the 2-year-old comes back for checkups.
He's doing good. He wants to get down and play.
It's remarkable. I'm so glad that this worked.
It was a risky experiment that doctors say now offers new hope for others. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
The family says they're so grateful for the care they received and that 5 other hospitals said they couldn't help their son. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, the Quapaw Nation Museum honors World War II veterans with a special quilt display.
And it's going to be a nice and sunny day today, but a cool down is coming. I'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, good food raises money for a good cause at the Joplin Service Club.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KLM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Donald O'Keefe. Good morning.
Good morning, and it's a happy fall Friday. We are making it through the work week. we're almost done. I hope for a lot of you, I think most people are Monday through Friday. We're all almost done. This is the start of the last day, and we're all looking forward to the weekend.
Yes, definitely. And it's been a very nice week weather-wise, and we're ending our work week off on a nice day as well. Actually, if we take a look at downtown Pittsburgh at this moment, it looks pretty good out there. Temperatures are feeling good as you're waking up, getting out the door. There is some lingering clouds at the moment, but overall it's not too bad of a morning. For our 7th range line, you can see not too much going on at this moment. Still a little bit of clouds lingering around. Those will dissipate by the time we get to the early parts of our afternoon. Range line 94-40, I-44 looking pretty good as well. People are starting to get out there, do their morning routines. However, there is a bit of fog at this moment. Up there in our northwestern part of our area, particularly Chanute, you guys just have a little over 3 miles of visibility. Parsons just under 3 miles. Fredonia, Yates Center, and Iola about 4 to 5 miles of visibility. So that is where our patchy fog is right now. So if you guys are out driving in that area, make sure you're being careful because visibility is very limited. But our temperatures are looking pretty good at this moment. 59 in Joplin, 60 down in Anderson. So you guys are on the warmer side. Yates Center, you're on the cooler side, about 45 degrees. But temperatures are going to start warming up through the morning and into the afternoon. All right, our future track today at noon. We do have northwesterly winds that are going to be bringing in some nicer air, not too bad. Sunny skies through the day, but that by the time we get to the afternoon, we will have some increasing clouds, but overall a nice sunny day for us today. So out the door for your school bus, 55 at out the door, increasing or decreasing clouds, 69 at lunch and recess, and then 70 as you're heading home. Pretty much mostly sunny skies through the entire day, getting up to that 70 for our high. Northwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. But I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Donald, thanks. A federal judge orders the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits for November. The administration had planned to cover only 65% of benefits amid the government shutdown. Legal challenges from cities and nonprofits argue partial funding causes harm to vulnerable families. Officials warn continued shutdown threatens future benefits. The Quapaw Nation approved $500 payments to tribal households receiving SNAP benefits. The committee says many families face food insecurity due to the federal government shutdown. Eligible households must show proof of SNAP benefits before the shutdown. The tribe calls on federal officials to end the shutdown and to restore benefits to those in need. Officials will have more information on how to apply for this help soon. It was a full house at the Joplin Service Club's annual chili and veggie soup fundraiser. The event supports programs for the blind and visually impaired, including the Low Vision Enhancement Center and weekly member lunches. Guests enjoyed homemade chili, vegetable soup, and a silent auction featuring holiday decor, kitchen sets, and gift baskets, all donated by community members and volunteers.
Well, hopefully they're going to expect someone being very kind, greeting them, and taking their order and then bringing it to the table for them and offer assistance throughout the day. I've got a lot of good volunteers.
The money raised also helps cover transportation, costs, and supplies, making sure those in need have access to essential tools and resources. Well, changing desperation to transformation, that's at the heart of the Joplin program. This week's Doing Good report takes us to Joplin, where a program hosted by Water Gardens is working to help men who are at the end of their rope. KOAM's Ty Parks has the story.
All right, I was at the end of my rope. I was actually in a psych ward and had no other means of either going back and burning all the bridges that I had as far as family is concerned.
On 15th Street in Joplin sits a small old church with a big mission, a mission for change. The Forge program welcomes men who are at their lowest and are willing to grow.
When a guy applies to come into the Forge, that really is the first step of changing them, if you will. Of course, I'm not changing anybody. Only God can change somebody. And that he will only change them to the extent that they will allow themselves to be changed.
They start in a dorm setting and volunteer around Water Gardens while taking classes on being a better person.
Christian discipleship, but also what does it mean to be a member of the community? What does it mean to have a strong work ethic? What does it mean to operate with integrity and honesty? And so we just cultivate that during that education phase.
The next phase is small apartment living. It's a little bit more freedom while still being guided.
That's where they begin to have an actual job somewhere in the community. We assign them a Christian business mentor. So here's a man who's willing to meet with them every week and just talk through how are things going at work? How are things going at the campus where you're staying there at Forge? What's going on in your life?
The end goal being commissioned to go out and be a better man, helping to impact society in a positive way.
I see everything that I'm doing as like ministry. It's an opportunity, whether it's at work, in relationship with the people in my community at God's Resort, whether I'm just interacting with people at church or even at the grocery store. Like, I see those opportunities as, I see those situations as opportunities to see what God is doing. And in the same way, like how He's blessed me, I want to give a measure of that back.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The men stay at the place until they're ready to move on in the world without all government assistance. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, New York's Community Kitchen reimagines how restaurants serve customers. Plus, a $20 million pink diamond called the Glowing Rose headlines a luxury auction next week. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, a $20 million pink diamond headlines Sotheby's Geneva auction next week. The Glowing Rose is a rare 10-carat fancy vivid pink stone cut from Angolan rough. Also up for sale, a historic Rolex worn during a 1927 English Channel swim, and Napoleon's diamond brooch seized at Waterloo. The high jewelry sale features pieces with bulletproof provenance and extraordinary rarity. Tesla shareholders voted to give CEO Elon Musk a $1 trillion pay package over the next decade. It's one of the richest compensation packages in history, and it's going to the world's richest person with an estimated net worth of more than $400 billion, according to Bloomberg's Billionaires Index. But the big payout is contingent on the company hitting certain targets. Two massive recalls from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. More than 830,000 Peloton Original Series Bike Pluses have been recalled because the seat post can break and cause riders to fall off. There have been at least 3 reports of the seat detaching during use, with at least 2 reports of injuries due to falls. Owners should stop using the bikes and contact Peloton for free repair. Also, more than 940,000 bottles of Kirkland brand Val du Biadine Prosecco DOCG wines have been recalled because the bottles can shatter. Customers are urged to contact maker Ethica Wine for guidance and getting a refund from Costco. And the chicken sandwich wars could heat up again Sunday. Several major chains, including McDonald's, Popeyes, and KFC, are dishing out free or discounted sandwiches through their apps to mark National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. If the price was left up to you, how much would you pay for a good dinner out? If you had more, would you pay more? So those who have less can pay less. It's food for thought at a new restaurant, hoping to make quality meals more accessible. Jared Hill has more.
At the bottom of a community center.
It's a grand social experiment.
An interesting foray into fine dining for the masses.
People with less money pay less than people with more money.
Longtime food writer Mark Bittman recently launched Community Kitchen. Here's how the restaurant works. Diners reserve a seat online. The menu is set each night, but guests book at one of 3 different price points, $15, $45, or $125, all based on what they can afford. No questions asked.
I trust that people are not going to try to game the system.
The pay what you can model isn't new, but the organizers behind Community Kitchen say there is something novel about their approach.
Is this going to be like...
Executive Director Ray Gomes says Community Kitchen isn't only focused on making food accessible for diners, but also sustaining those who provide the food.
What would it look like for farmers to be paid well, for the people who are aggregating our food to be paid well?
The restaurant itself is a nonprofit, so Community Kitchen's efforts to reshape how people eat are subsidized by private donations.
We know that food is a big driver of chronic disease, and the reason food is a big driver of chronic disease is that ultra-processed food, junk food, whatever you want to call it, is the cheapest and most accessible food to most people.
Aside from fueling the body, Community Kitchen hopes their model leaves diners full of curiosity.
How do we see people as people? How do we make sure that people are humanized and that they feel welcomed? As you know, our chef will say that you're in your favorite cousin's house.
Creating connection, one bite at a time. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The current restaurant is a pop-up. The people behind Community Kitchen hope to find a permanent location in the coming months. That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Donald with a quick look at your forecast.
It's going to be a beautiful sunny day for our Friday, a great end to our work week, but a cool down is coming. I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Guidelines about what to eat and how much could be coming next month from the federal government. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Tyne Morgan with today's Ag Day Minute. Look for new dietary guidelines to be released next month. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the new guidelines are aimed at reducing high rates of obesity and changing the country's food culture. Kennedy said the new guidelines would change the kind of food serviced to military service members and children in schools. He did not provide any details on the new recommendations, but they are expected to address saturated fat and ultra-processed food, along with modified sugars related to dairy consumption. Union members at Starbucks have voted to strike at U.S. stores starting next week. This is unless the company finalizes a contract agreement. The strike would begin next Thursday, which is the day Starbucks plans to distribute free reusable red cups. It is typically one of the company's busiest days of the year. And parents may not know who the Rizzler is, but we bet your kids do. And Hardee's is getting in on the act with the internet sensation releasing the Rizwich meal. It says it comes straight from the mind of the Rizzler and features an Angus beef patty with American and Swiss cheese and bacon. You can also get fries and an ice cream shake. Hardee's says the meal packs extra Riz, which includes Hardee's and the Rizzler's signature blend of flavor and swagger. For more Ag news, watch Ag Day weekdays on this station or get updates at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Donald with a look at your forecast.
A beautiful start to your morning, a little bit on the warmer side, looking at downtown Pittsburgh right now. Not too bad, still some lingering clouds this morning, but they'll start to dissipate as we progress through the morning. 7th in the range line, not too bad as well. People are slowly starting to make their way out the door, do their morning routine, get your coffee, get the kids ready for school and out on the bus. Range line and I-44, like I said, getting a little bit busier, and you can see the truckers, they're usually out no matter what time of day it is, overnight and everything. So not too bad. But there is a patch of fog, and actually it's starting to expand a bit now. What really was just around Chanute, but we still have Chanute about 3 miles of visibility, and it has expanded basically all the way east to I-44. So if you're in Veneta all the way up to Pittsburgh, got just 2 miles of visibility in Pittsburgh. Chanute, like I said, about 3 miles, and Iola about 2 miles of visibility. Yates Center just a little over 4. So this area pretty much to the north. East is our biggest area of patchy fog, and it has extended all the way to I-44. But east of I-44 still looks pretty good, I would probably have to say. Let's take a look at our regional temperatures and why we're seeing a little bit of a warmer trend right now. So we're actually having a battle between northwesterly winds and southerly winds. That's why we're having a little bit of a warmer trend right now, but those northwesterly winds are pretty much going to be dominating, but it's still going to be pretty nice outside before that cold front really starts to take over later this weekend. All right, so our future track today at noon. There's our northwesterly winds. Like I said, there's still a little bit of southerly winds bringing in some nice warm air, but most dominantly the northwesterly winds are going to be through the day. But it's still going to be pretty nice and sunny and on the warmer side, even though it's coming out of the northwest. So clear skies, but then there is going to be some increasing clouds through the afternoon and into the evening and overnight. As you can see, by the time we get to about Saturday morning, clouds are going to be pushing in, but the winds are actually going to start shifting from the northwest back to like the southeast. And then by the time we get to Saturday afternoon, still some cloudy skies, still a decently okay day, but the winds are really going to start picking up by noon tomorrow. You can see it really starts to shift again to the northwest, and it's going to be on the windier side for Saturday, and that trend will continue through Saturday afternoon and into the evening time. Pretty much northwesterly winds, bringing in that colder air that will eventually make its way by Sunday. All right, but for today, starting off your day at 8 a.m., 56 degrees, mostly sunny skies through our morning, getting up to about 68 at 11 a.m., so not a bad start to your morning. For your day, getting to 69 degrees at noon, warming up to about 70 between 2 and 4 p.m., and that's going to pretty much be our high. Northwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour, so a pretty nice day. And your evening's not going to be too bad either. 6 p.m., 62 degrees, dropping down to 52 degrees, increasing clouds through the overnight, dropping down to 46 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, but winds are going to be light and variable. But here's the big thing. The cold air is coming this weekend. So you can see that there is going to be frost unlikely for Friday night. We're going to drop down to 35 on Saturday overnight, frost possible. Look at that for Sunday, 21 degrees. It is going to be a hard freeze for both Sunday and Monday. Monday is going to be 29, and then we're going to warm up a little bit overnight by the time we get to Tuesday. So it's definitely going to be pretty cold as we progress through the weekend. So 70 for today, 68 Saturday. Things really cool down on Sunday and Monday, 41 on Sunday, 45 on Sunday, and then another little warm up by the middle part of next week, and possibly 70s again. And that is a look at your weather. More news and weather coming up.
A Pittsburgh resident is taking his love for games to a whole new level, appearing in the newest season of Netflix's Squid Game, The Challenge. Marlon Dewey says he's been a fan since the first season. He says he's drawn to the mix of competition and strategy, which made this opportunity too good to pass up.
And we're actually going to see a pretty nice start to our day. 56 degrees at 8 a.m., warming up to 68 degrees by 11 a.m. Pretty sunny skies as we progress through our morning. But then we're going to warm up to about 70 degrees. It's going to be between our 2 to 4 o'clock hour. Winds out of the northwest about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So it's going to be a pretty nice morning, pretty nice day. And it's going to be a pretty decent evening. We're going to see temperatures go from 62 degrees at 6 p.m., dropping down to 52 by 10 p.m., but increasing clouds through the evening and overnight, dropping down to about 46 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. I also want to talk about the frost and freeze that's coming up. We're going to see temperatures drop down to 21 degrees on Sunday and 29 degrees on Monday. So the frost and freeze is definitely coming. The cooler Arctic air is starting to make its way into our area, but we are going to see a slight warm up by the middle part of next week, but that cool is definitely going to be coming here before we get to that nice warm up. So I would probably say enjoy this nice weather while it's here before that cool weather really sets in, and then maybe another chance for some nice weather coming up. Another hour of news and weather coming up.